WIIFTBP.
Broken screen? Crash system? Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
Welcome to Inhale, Exhale, you guys. We are your health home girls, Dr. Tanksley and Danny Time. We are being joined today by a guest, Samantha Allen, who's going to work with us today about attachment styles.
The overview of attachment styles is basically how we connect with people, how we have relationships. And I just want to clear up, it's not just about romantic relationships with your family, with your friends, how you host relationships, period. It's important to look at yourself and figure out, what am I contributing to the relationship, or why am I attracting this style of a relationship? So all the attachment styles develop from your caregiving style. They say that from 0 to 5, you have already developed your attachment style. If you had a secure attachment style, your parents were very in tune with your moods, in tune with your behavior. They kind of soothe you when you cry. For secure, you grow up to be more communicative. You have good communication style. You feel positive about yourself and about others. You just have a healthier, you're able to set healthy boundaries, so on and so forth. And that just comes from the love, attention, and caregiving that you were given as a child, which usually develops a secure attachment style.
So on that note, with healing these things and changing your attachment style, we're reprogramming ourselves. Right. It's like our inner child that is showing up in these anxious, attachments, and we are wanting our way. We're reprogramming.
Saturday, June 19th, 2021. Grab the family and join the Woodlawn for the second annual Juneteenth Block Party. Join the Woodlawn team for a day of vendors, activities, DJs, live music and broadcasts, rooftop experiences, and much more. Vendor space is still available. For tickets and more information, please visit www.thewoodlawn1200.com. That's www.thewoodlawn1200.com. We do this for the culture.
All right, stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to.
To take a chance, and grace is in her blood from the ancestors above. She is light, she is truth, taking names, making boss moves. Evident in everything she do, she is me, she is you. Little bit of bone, little bit of rock with a whole lot of soul. You are girl magic. She is girl magic. She's strong in faith, 'cause she knows exactly what it takes. She's been bruised, knowing all the while that she can't lose. Knows the story, stands in glory. Takes her own little woman to feel these shoes. Don't be afraid.
Hey, friends. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Welcome to another episode of Inhale, Exhale. We're your health home girls. I'm Dr. Tanksley.
And I'm Danny Time.
And we are so delighted that you are joining us this Sunday afternoon on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Yes.
I don't know why I said like I didn't know where we were. But it's Sunday. Absolutely.
Time to breathe.
Time to breathe. That's exactly why I said right? Because I had to get into the zone. So as you guys know, we always start our show with some inhaling and exhaling, deep breathing so that we can get ourselves set and in the moment, and something that you can do at all times to get yourself set and in the moment. So, yes, in the moment. So, on that note, let's take a couple of deep breaths, Danny.
Yes.
All right.
There's a
And I
true
hope,
sense of
oh
relaxation
my gosh,
that comes with that.
And I hope you could just feel that sense of peace,
Yes,
right? Even if it's
good.
just for like 5 seconds. I'm gonna have to time it next time and see how long, because really you should do that for about a minute.
Yeah. For the 4, 7, 8, 4 rounds at least.
That's about 2.
Well, at the max, 4 rounds.
Yeah, but you would get so much peace for doing that for a full minute. So, how was your week, Danny?
It was good. You know, I got to get used to the little things that's not right.
I said that when I got here. I was like,
I'm so
oh
used to
man,
looking through the little-
the world is opening up.
The expressway is opening up. Outside is opening up.
It's all opening.
Did y'all see that video with the police car and the girls on top of the car twerking? It's just becoming madness out here.
Twerking on a police car.
Twerking on the police
Hey,
car.
twerking on. Okay, so thank you for. Okay, that's what we talking about. Twerking on a police car.
No, I was just saying we opening up. That was the point I was getting to.
I didn't see the twerking
Outside
on a
is
police
open.
car, but you know what? That brings me to a different point. So I'm gonna say something, not a different point, but kind of on that note, right? So, you guys joining us today, welcome. Drop us a hello in the chat. We are gonna be following. We always try to include you in, so please, feel free to chat with us. Make sure that you like the Inhale Exhale page. Make sure that you tag a friend, share this video, go to What's in It for the Black People Media and subscribe so that when we go live, you'll see it. Go to YouTube Live, What's in It for the Black People Media on there as well, and we're there. So share.
That's what I'm doing. Sharing.
Sharing. I was hoping you brought the little sign today.
What sign?
The Inhale Exhale sign.
I knew I was forgetting something. Yes.
Oh, I'm going to preview it then.
Okay.
So Danny has some of the dopest friends ever, right? Because we have dope friends
that was
like
such
that.
a dope thing to do.
And so one of our audience members, do you want to shout her out?
Shout out to Paige. I love you, boo. I appreciate you for the dope gift. Hugs
Thank you,
and kisses.
Paige.
Thank you,
We love
Paige.
you.
Love
So
you, girl.
coming to the future shows, Paige got us a little table sign that flips from inhale, exhale, right? And so Danny's like, look at this. This is super dope. I got this inhale, exhale sign. And I was like, ooh, that makes me think about moments when people need to inhale and exhale.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That was
So
such a dope idea.
when the sign comes, we're going to do this.
I'll
But
have it the next one.
But I had a moment this week, and that's why it was not. I guess I was involved in a moment, but it kind of wasn't. So I'm gonna give a preview of what that inhale. Okay, so I'm at the shoe store, right? The world is opening up,
Yes.
and everybody's in the store, and now there's not all the threats of the uprisings and all that kind of stuff. So they have more inventory in the stores. Finally, so I'm in the store and I'm standing there in line, and the line is long.
Okay.
And this lady in the back of the line goes up to the ladies. It's 3 cashiers. They're working super hard, young girls, like getting people in and out. But the line is long. She goes up there and says something to the girl. I don't even know what she says, but the girl's expression was just like the audacity, right? So then she goes back to the line, and this young lady, so they're still taking people in and out. And as one person would lead a line to go to the cashier, the lady in the back, the one who went up to the cashier, would scream, "Next!" Next.
She was ready to go. Huh?
I mean, for each person,
with...
she was trying to move the line. And so I was just like, that lady really needs to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Because it's not that serious.
It's not.
The world is opening up. Please recognize, people, that it is going to be long lines because everybody wants to get outside. Everybody wants to be fly when they go out, so they're going to be in the stores. So just breathe. It's not
patient.
Oh, it's not that serious. That's what breathing gives you. It gives you patience because you don't feel like you got to just, right? You can just
the anxiousness. Yeah.
It is. It is a really, and that's what it does. It flips that switch. And so that was an inhale, exhale moment. Yeah. And I wanted to say something, but I breathed in that moment.
Because then they could have just, who knows what space she was in. She's obviously not a breather.
Because the lady in front of me turned around and was like, do you see this? And I didn't even bite. Thank you, Jesus. I didn't even bite. I was just like, she needs to relax.
Yeah.
It's okay. Mm-hmm. We're all going to get through the line.
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of needed breathing out here because people are on edge as they now are coming outside. Yeah, I'm noticing tempers are a lot shorter. There's more fights in the airports and just all kind of stuff. People have been on lockdown, locked in, and now they
want to be free.
And
so they twerking on police cars.
Twerking on police cars. I ain't the one to gossip. I saw that like, well, this is where we at now. Okay.
Was it in Chicago?
Absolutely.
Of course it was. Of course it was. I know it was.
Of course. It seemed like the police was enjoying. But
they were breathing.
I don't know. They was just cruising like, okay, little mama. But we go get to the show.
Oh my gosh. I am really excited for the sign. Really excited.
I'm excited.
So it's going to be great. And for everybody that's joining us today, thank you again so much because we have an amazing guest that we're going to bring up with us. And I'm going to let Danny actually introduce her because, I got to kind of play with the signs and stuff over here.
Oh, nice. So. Well, today's show, there's an amazing space opening called Rose Cafe. It'll be opening in Roseland, in the Roseland area, which will be books and coffee and networking, socializing, and we have an amazing young woman, on the show today that is going to be opening this space, and she has already been paving the concrete with, just handing out books, giving out free books, just doing donations, doing drives. She has a march coming up for Juneteenth. I mean, she's just doing a lot of amazing things, and I happen to know her because we went to college together.
Come on, Salukis.
And I'm just so very proud of the great work that she's doing. She has a passion for the youth. She's an educator, and she's just doing a bunch of great things. So I just want us to be aware, like we were talking about last time, all this dopeness going on in the communities, and we don't know nothing about it. So wanted to shed light and just allow her to come on and talk about the great work that she's doing.
Yes, and I will say one thing as well, too, because I am always passionate about finding individuals who are doing really unique things and things that our community needs to engage more in, right? Because we talk about, people are like literacy and reading. Well, absolutely. When you talk about activities that can help bring mindfulness and help bring, peace and calm, right? Reading is one of those. And I know that Miss Aisha is an educator as well, right? So I know she would agree with me that reading is fundamental.
Yes.
A lot of us are not necessarily doing that. And I think it's really exciting to hear, all of this great stuff that she's doing in the community. So I'm excited to have her here as well, too. Miss Aisha, you are joining us, and you are unmuted at this point. And so we gave a little background about you, but I would love if you go ahead and tell us and tell our audience all about who you are and what Rose Cafe is. And especially, let me say this real quick before she talks, especially when she from the Wild Wild. Come on, Wild Wild Hunnits. Roseland all day long. So, that's where I used to stomp and do all my, So I was really excited to hear about some more roses coming from the concrete of Roseland and all of that. Because, people be thinking nothing good come out of Roseland, but it does in many, many ways. So Miss Aisha, Miss Malone, please introduce yourself.
Hey, you guys. And I don't know, I'm super excited to be on this panel talking about Roseland because I think all of us are from Roseland.
Yes, ma'am. I did.
And like that commonality itself makes this a little bit more passionate because it is the proof.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who do not know me, my name is Aisha Malone. I am a mom of 2. I'm an educator of 12 years, and now I am an entrepreneur. Amen. I am the owner and co-founder of Rose Cafe, which is a reading cafe that we're bringing into the neighborhood. 60628, specifically.
Come on, 60628.
Heavy on specifically.
Me, I don't know. So, okay, we talking about me or Rose Cafe?
We talking about both.
Both. I really want to know, what was your passion for Rose Cafe? And I'm sure that has something to do with you.
And we can't talk about the cafe without talking about you.
So last year, we lost George Floyd through the murder of a police, through the hands of the police. And the activism that happened in the community, tore the neighborhood upside down. We lost Walgreens, we lost Family Dollar. And so for me, because until recently, I was living with my parents. And so my parents were of the elder. My parents were the ones who needed the things from Walgreens.
Right. Like their medications, right?
Yeah, but even though, I was all for how, the neighborhoods reacted, at the end of the day, there was a consequence to it. So me, I've been living on 104th and State since I was in 2nd grade. So, a lot of people know me over there. So when I'm asking questions like, hey, y'all, so we did all of this in the community. Now what? Right. Nobody had an answer, and that left me like, okay, so I don't know. For some reason, I'm one of those people who would take a moment and run with it. It just seemed like a moment to run with something. Like, so y'all not going to come up with something, then I am.
Right.
I don't know why. I said that. It's just like, what we gonna do? So, like nobody was saying enough. And it was like my mom and them needed this stuff. It's like, okay, so we need to start putting businesses in the community that caters to us too. Because what they were saying was like, we did that issue because, man, it's not ours.
Right.
Get something, right? Let's get something. Let's own it then. Right. Only thing I could think of being in education that I know that can gain back the power that we need to get to the next level is literacy.
Yeah,
that's like the only thing, because we got liquor stores, we got everything else, but we don't have like the power of education over here. We don't have the resources over here.
Yeah,
I teach in the community. I teach in Evergreen. They got the resources over there.
Absolutely, absolutely, they do, and they use them, right?
They use it, and they're excited to give it to them. Like when it comes to like monies and books and programs, after school programs, they don't give it to them real quick.
Absolutely.
But then when I come home, you're looking at the little kids that's around Cone, that's running around, that you can tell don't got the same thing that they have over there. So then we're talking about equity. So I'm like, look, we got to get some books out here. We got to get back the power of reading, because studies show like just the mere presence of books in the home can increase your IQ. So even if a kid not reading a book, just having it on a coffee table or in the bathroom or in his bedroom can increase your child's IQ. We don't have books that kids won't even pick up. Kids, nothing catered to us. So I just wanted to make sure that if I was to do something, I was doing something prominent, and I was doing something that really was going to help like the trajectory or the transformational change that we're trying to have in the community.
So I'm going to stop you right there real quick, because I know you're going to get into talking about the cafe, but I think there were a couple really powerful things that you just mentioned, more than a couple, but a couple that just popped out in my head. One, when you ask the question of your community and ask them, why do we do, or what's the next step after we have now made and we've protested and we've made people aware that there is a problem, right? And what's the next step? And for you not to have received any answers, I think it was really powerful for you to say, well, you know what, I'm going to be the change maker and provide some answers, right? And so in doing so, I think another thing you said that was really powerful was when they said, we tore this up because we don't own this. Yeah, Danny, I know you were going to say something about that.
No, I was just agreeing with what you said.
Absolutely, right? So, like, we don't own this. And I think about there's a so I'm from 104th and Wallace, and so other side of the tracks. But there's actually a small drugstore on the corner of 103rd and Wallace, and a gentleman by the name of Fred. He's a pharmacist, and he's been there for ever. Just, I mean, as long as I can remember being over there. He's been there 30 plus years, definitely. Not that I'm 30, but that's okay. That's how long I can remember. But he's been there for a number of years, and he didn't get broken into or torn up, right? Whereas, as you mentioned, the Walgreens did, and all the other stores did as well too. And I think that is really powerful that people recognize who provides services for them that look like them, and kudos to the people, because I feel like, yeah, we did kind of need to make a message, right? And from that message, I think there are some beautiful things that are growing out of it, like Rose Cafe and other leaders. So when you talk about, a young person having a book in their home increases their IQ, can you just kind of talk a little bit more just kind of about that before you talk about the cafe, and just how that, or how you see that as as part of the transformational change for the community? Because I'm pretty sure I agree with you. I'm like a strong believer in education as well too. But for somebody who may not even go to school or not be still engaged.
And before you answer that, Isha, I just want to add, I want to add to, I guess, the question, just to give a little bit more background. Yeah. She has a very, very dope relationship with the youth, which I think I have witnessed her students just really pour out to her. And I think, Isha, it's important for you to kind of just shed light on that relationship, because we can always say, hey, read a book, or, this is what you need to do. But there's a different kind of relationship that needs to happen for a child or for the youth to even be open to receive you.
Absolutely.
So I think that's important that we shed light on that. How does that happen? And this kind of goes back into the intergenerational, how can we reach our youth, and how do we do that through books?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, when I had first graduated from college, I was working for DCFS. Okay. Now, when I was working for DCFS, I was working on 69th and State. I was working at an all-boys group home. Okay. And here I am, 19, working with. Okay, so here's the other thing. I'm from Roseland, and with the whole nature versus nurture thing, for me, a lot of the times nature plays its part in the development of a person. So I am Roseland because what comes with Roseland is there's a toughness. We got another layer of skin on us, right? The thing that's meant to probably take somebody down. We kind of thrive off those situations. And that's when I say I'm from Roseland. So here I am on 69th and State.
We just kids from Roseland.
It's not Roseland. And so I'm they 69th State neighborhood, Inglewood, and they, boys that had been in the system for a very long time. 16, 17, 18 years old. And my first day, the boy was they was trying to introduce me, and he got super disrespectful. And I'm just so in my head, Isha, you from Roseland. We can't talk to you like this, because I got something for you. You don't even know me. I got something for you because you remind me of my brother. You remind me of other kids that I know, and I got something for you. He instantly became my protector. Could nobody say nothing to me. He wouldn't play about me, but it changed because I was consistent on showing him that I care. I spoke his language, not because I was trying to figure out the language. I know the language. Survival. We're in situations we need to get out of, and we need to know how to get out of them. But the only way we're going to get out of those situations is about talking to adults who are there genuinely to help you and not to judge you.
Yeah.
Once I was able to turn, that 69th and State group home into my kids, they became my boys. The things they were doing was change. I'm I could change some stuff. They'll listen. But it's not because I'm making them, it's because we listening to each other. Right. So when I was working on 69th and State with them boys, I'm talking about they was putting guns in pillowcases and putting them out the window type of boys. When I was getting them to go take their drug test, I was getting them to go to check in with they like doing things like other counselors couldn't do. I had kind of figured out my why or my what or whatever I figured out, but I knew like I can help kids that people don't typically want to help.
Right.
That's right.
I ended up getting my master's in special ed because those are the other kids that people typically don't want to help. So
that's where our kids often end up for various reasons, right?
Yeah. And behavior issues turn into, something's wrong, or they need to.
Illiteracy though. You know, when we're talking about books and stuff, illiteracy too. Yeah. Not being literate. There's a book called 30,000 Words where I can't think of the author name, but she talks about like how like a kid, not a non-color, not a non-black kid knows close to 3,000 words by the time they're 4. Do y'all know how many words a black kid know?
No.
500. It's like a disparity out of this world. Like they know this many words and a black kid know this many words, but they say it's access to literacy.
I'd be interested to know but you don't have to answer this. I'm sorry. Sometimes I go into my theoretical mind, but I would be interested to know if that varies in the Black community by anything. You know what I mean? Because one thing, that just made me think about, like, when my kids were little, people would say things like, "Ooh, they talk so good."
I was always told that when I was younger.
Yeah.
But to add to the point, I read a lot.
And I read a lot to my kids.
My aunt she was huge on books, and I was like, "Girl, why are you giving me all these books?" But then, like, the babysitting club, and starting with the Dr. Seuss collection and all these different books, and she started introducing more and more books. And she was also her passion was educating. She transitioned to that. But I read a lot, and when I spoke, people will always say that, or even you'll get those that make fun of you for speaking that way. Like you
sound white.
Yeah, or you trying to talk proper, and it's like, this is how I,
this is how I talk. My daughter was, when I had her, I was in undergrad, and when I had my son, I was in med school. So I used to read like my books to them, and honestly, they didn't know, right? But they were probably absorbing a lot of words from what you're saying. So that's actually pretty dope.
They say like even like the exposure, like, having kids at young ages, like non-black kids, like they going to our generation is changing it to the whole thing. But back in the day, like, black kids wasn't going to high-end restaurants and having the menu in front of them. I'm saying that because one of the words that they were saying, like the word menu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right, like the word menu. That's because, the exposure to.
Right.
Hey, little man.
Did she go out?
No. Her son. How old are your children?
I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Awesome. No worries. We're a family-friendly show.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem at all.
Take a deep breath, mama, and keep going.
That last week, my whole baby was on the show.
Look, take a deep breath and keep moving, mama. No worries. That's how we rock.
A show on virtual, they're not gonna stop being kids. It doesn't matter. They're gonna sue for mom. Mom.
That's it. You're gonna always be mama, no matter what hat you got on.
All right. So you were just talking about the literacy and how kids know 500 words when they're in most often African American, but we can go ahead and move on. I was just gonna add,
and then like with going back to just the book being in the home, like, talking more about that, like what happens, you know what I mean? So we're talking about like reading more and the kids being exposed to more literacy, and the books being in the home raises your IQ level. Like what is actually happening? But like, because the book just being there, I'm not reading the book, it's there though. So like, can we talk a little bit more about like what happened?
The motivation to getting them to read the book,
I'm glad that you asked, because Rose Cafe, one of the things I love about the bookstore is like I'm big on like representation. The book gotta look like us, written by us, for us, right? Because it's easier to fall in love with something that kind of resembles you.
Absolutely.
So when I say access to home, like for me, like, okay, so I got a book for both of my boys in the car. One's on Rashid's side, one's on Isaiah's side. Rashid is reading the 7th Planet right now, and like he don't even know he's almost done with the book. He's picking it up. He's reading 3 pages at a day, putting it down. Right, but I'm catching him doing it. Making good habits. I'm catching him doing it. But here's why he's going to keep reading, because it's not a book that he wouldn't want to read any other time. I'm not forcing you to read something that's like not that you wouldn't be interested.
That you can't relate to, yeah.
So if we, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. So like, the book has like all the stuff that my son enjoys. So he'll say, I'm not reading this book, but Rashid, you're almost done with the book, and then we'll have a conversation like, so what was that about?
Yep.
So and he'll tell me, and it's like he's making good habits. Like when I finish, I just moved, so when I set it up, it'll be books everywhere in the bathroom. You're gonna put it up, maybe you don't feel like reading, you're gonna read the whole back though.
Yeah.
And if you read the Blackbird, you're gonna get a lot, and you're gonna be like, okay, what's she talking about? And then you're gonna pick it up. And I'm not saying books gotta be completed in days, months. I just like read words daily.
Yes.
Right? Like I don't care if you read like every day, because you can't. We're human.
Yeah.
But with all this technology and things like going on, like that's the part. Like you gotta change the habit. Like we are readers, but we don't make time to read.
Yeah.
Y'all. I know we grew up reading, and I didn't find my love for reading until I did the cafe, when I had to do author talks and I had to have the book read by a certain time. Because I got to talk to the author, and I don't want her to try to be like, she didn't read the book. So I'm like, I got back into it, but that was divine, because now I feel crazy not having a book in my hand.
What does reading do for you?
I'm from Roseland, so I get to escape Roseland a lot of times. I done been all over the world. I have been all over the world. I done dated all type of men. I done dated men of different colors.
I love that. It's a way to escape. That's so powerful in itself.
When you from where you from, you want to escape sometimes. You just want to see what's out there. Because the thing what these kids don't know is how to get what's on the other side of here.
Yeah.
So and
what's sad? I fell in love with reading Rainbow. You remember that? Oh my gosh. Am I dating myself that much? Oh my gosh. Y'all don't know what Reading Rainbow is? Take a look. It's in the book. Reading Rainbow. No. Oh my gosh. I'm so old. Okay. Reading Rainbow was a TV show with LeVar Burton. He was the host. Y'all remember who LeVar Burton is? Oh.
Just tell us about it.
All right. It was just, okay, man. Okay, Reading Rainbow. So this is, man, that's really, that was probably like a light bulb. So Reading Rainbow was like, I don't know what channel it came on. Whatever, I guess it was channel 11, because it was like on like after Mr. Rogers and those kind of things. But it was a television show, and it was all about reading. And it would be different books, and people and kids would like talk about, they would basically do a book report on what the book was, right? And talk about it. And the only reason I was going to say that was because it really instilled in me not only reading the book, but comprehending what it was that I read. And so as I went forward, like, especially for things like medical school and you guys probably feel the same way about higher education in general, you really not only need to read, you actually need to comprehend. Yeah. And so when you say, Isha, when you say, read a little bit every day, that was actually the strategy for how to study for tests in medical school. When you say, tell me to your son, tell me what it is that you learned from that book, or what was it about, that's exactly how you study for, like the MCAT and all that kind of stuff, right? We would read the newspaper and break it down into exactly what it was we read, who, what, where, when, why. And I kind of got that love from this show that was on
someone remembers it.
Okay, good.
Remembers it. I just want
it was on public education,
yeah,
which was good.
I just want to add to the point of
public TV.
imagination. I think that's a big point, Isha, that you brought up, because that was my like fun for reading too, and not so much of like, because I bounced around. I stayed in Roseland for a period. I stayed in the Ward. I stayed in Inglewood, my younger childhood. I stayed a lot of different spaces, but and everybody would always say, "You don't seem like you used to live." Like, you know, like,
I don't look like what I've been through.
But what I wanted to say was to speak into the imagination part. That was my point for reading, or like my love for reading, because like meeting a kid where they are, like imagination was my drive. And like, so the Goosebumps and the Babysitting Club and you know, all of those books, and I'm thinking like, oh, this is how they live. Or you watch the shows and you see, like, I can really just relate to what Isha was saying, like you see how, or you see on TV, because we're not shown always in a positive light on TV, so you reading these books and you get to kind of like see the other side of how other people are living, or at least how they're portrayed to be living. Exactly. And so it's like, you know, you just have this like imagination moment. Like, you know, you can kind of go into the book and just be where you want to be, however you want to be, you know, living how you want to live or whatever. And that was my reason for reading as well. Like, that's what kind of drove me to it, which was good, because I mean, like you said, you need those points of reading further in life with, you know, all the other things you come across. But that's what drove me into the love of books, or reading them at the time.
Absolutely.
I don't read as much as I used to, but I used to like it for those reasons.
Well, we're going to start, because we're going to go to Rose Cafe. But we're going to take a quick break, Aisha, okay? And on the other side of the break, we're going to let you go ahead and talk all about the cafe and the upcoming things that you've got going on, and all of the greatness that I know that you want to share. But hold on 1 second. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.
WIIFTBP.
For Black People Media Network, 21 Souls and Soul Foundation presents the official Naperville Soul Fest downtown Naperville, Saturday, June 5th at Neighbor Settlement, 523 Southwest Street, downtown Naperville. Starring Audrey Tanksley, Kiki Wyatt, Gospel Grammy winner D'Andrea Johnson, and many more. Downtown Naperville, Saturday, June 5th at Neighbor Settlement, 523 Southwest Street, Naperville, Illinois. Get your tickets on eventbrite.com. Sponsored by What's In for Black People Media Network, 21 Souls and Soul Foundation. Reach the ruler. This is Week Ho Wednesday, and to my right is Everybody's Women Crush Wednesday. My co-host, the one and only Toy. It goes, love this show, y'all. I'm dealing with a guy. We have been dating for 9 months. In light of everything going on in the world, he has been voicing his opinion about situations, and I don't agree with any of his views. I love everything else except his opinions. Damn. How do I fix this? FYI, he's white.
It's about to be a white boy summer.
So could that be the issue?
For sure. Just come out different when it's not coming from your own race. It's just never been something I'd be like, oh, I date Bill.
I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill.
I don't really like light-skinned guys. I don't like pink meat.
Pink, so like it's like you see it.
Pink tip, it'd be pink.
And then pink on the tip.
I don't like.
So sometimes a light-skinned guy have a dark tooth.
And then it look dark, so it's nasty off to me.
Okay,
I feel like it's supposed to be pink because they light-skinned. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want it to be dark because then I'm gonna say you dirty.
Oh, baby. I mean, I know that you're here with me and everything, but since you just left a few hours ago, I've just been going crazy. And I done come to realize one thing. Oh, baby, I miss you. On calling me, and I just need a hit of your love. It's got me shaking and feeling for your touch. Baby, of you I can't get enough. It feels like I done OD'd on you, babe.
Hey friends, welcome back to Inhale, Exhale. This is the second half of the show, and you're here with your Health Homegirls. I'm Dr. Tanksley.
And I'm Danny Tan.
And we are topping it back off with our guest, Aisha from Rose Cafe. I hope y'all enjoyed that little vibe. That was some nice little Sunday vibe right there. I was like, hey, I loved it. Oh, that's the perfect kind of song for this weather.
Yes.
Man, so speaking of sitting outside and doing enjoyable things, right? Because sit outside and read an enjoyable book. We are back and talking with Aisha. So I wanted on this side, Aisha, if Danny doesn't have any questions from the other side of the break.
We just kind of left off. We were getting into how books being around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How that impacts.
Yeah.
So if you want to close that off with anything that you wanted to say regarding before you get into the cafe and all those things that you guys are doing over on that set. But I was enjoying that conversation.
I was too.
About having the books in the home.
Childhood.
Absolutely, I know, right? Y'all didn't know LeVar Burton, but then on the break, I showed Danny. I was like, LeVar Burton was the one that played Kunta in Roots. And she was like, oh, right, before he came to America, right? So she was like, I remember his face. So yeah, so y'all gonna have to YouTube that because apparently we looked it up and it was. We can find some. Yeah, it said that it was on from 1983 to 2006.
That's surprising. Like I don't.
It was so and then also on the break I told Danny, I just let y'all into what we were talking about. I was telling her how I was such a little nerd when I was little, but it turned out to be good for me. So I'm not mad about that. But I used to do book reports for fun. Like that's what Reading Rainbow would like inspire you to do. And nice. When I was younger, we had a program. They might still have this. You can definitely let me know, Aisha, since you work in education. But they used to have a Pizza Hut book it.
Yeah. I remember that.
Right. Yeah. And you would write these book reports and then they give you Pizza Hut. Yes, and look, I was from Roseland. I wanted some Pizza Hut. And I wasn't getting it without my bookies. So I was like, I would do my book reports.
Mm-hmm. Well, they used to do the little chip clip thing.
They used to do Great America Tickets. It was awesome. I like the incentives for reading, but definitely want to hear, if you wanted to talk more about that or, kind of switch gears to the cafe.
I think we closed out just saying like having books that the kids might be interested in is like the way that's the buy-in for it. When I say having books around can increase IQ, it's just saying like parents being intentional about putting books in the bathroom, like those type of things we don't do, but those are like quick fixes, build a little library in the bathroom. I promise your kids will read. Yes, and you don't put a date on it. You just want to get them excited about like exploring new worlds. And
that's
because
for me.
Yeah, because if we don't give them the option to explore, they're never going to want to even explore it, right? Like you want to go places because you are introduced to the place in a book. Yeah. Like now you want to go to school. So be intentional about what type of books you put in front of them. They'll read it. We don't give them enough credit.
Absolutely.
I bought so many dang on books, and I'd be like, you should read this.
Yeah, that's a really good thought. Put it in the bathroom when people are sitting there.
And in the car. Okay, that's a good
have a back seat. Put it right there. While we driving, just pick it up. They'll pick it up. It will just become a force of habit. Those are the two hacks I do. And like the books say a lot. The books say a lot. They don't want to read Magic School Bus no more. Right. Like that's not it. That's not what they want. And putting that in front of them because it's a book is more detrimental than putting a book in front of them that they might want to read, right? Because they're like, you keep putting this in front of me. And now I don't read. Now my son will say, like, I ain't no reader. But yes, you are.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I think that's important. And you were getting to that. You said that you make sure that the books and things that are in the cafe are not only that they're written by us, for us, right? They
for us, by us. They look like us. Got the FUBU books.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, Okay, because I was
I'm
thinking
because it's funny. It's FUBU.
Exactly. So tell me more about like who the authors are and where you get the books from, and are they local people?
And how
can I write my book and put it in there?
Yes,
I'm
you can. I do local. I want to do local. I want to inspire young authors. You remember you talking about Rainbow Reading? Young Authors Club was
Reading Rainbow.
Listen, tomato, Rainbow Reading Rainbow.
But remember, like young author clubs where kids was just writing, but they're staple the loose leaf paper. Now you got a book, but it's only like you wrote it on the loose leaf paper. No book. Y'all remember this?
Young Authors was so awesome. I loved Young Authors. Yeah.
Listed. But so. But that type of creativity is what we need, because as we are getting the power back that we already had, we need more creative people out here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's still jobs like, news reporters. There's still jobs like journalists. It's still jobs where reading and writing and language art is critical.
That's one of the biggest things on the medical school exam. Like if you can't read and comprehend, you don't do well on that exam. So it goes across all spectrums, like you said. It goes across all spectrums.
Literacy is even connected to jail rate. So, you're talking about, but most of the literate people, they end up in jail.
Oh, yeah.
So then it's that part. So it's
I mean, reading just goes a long way in life, period. Because even if you just want
to,
you need to be able to read.
Art. But it's lost for some reason. Like that part, that appeal of reading is gone. But it's gone because no one is highlighting it. So
maybe. Do you think social media has something to do with that? I mean, because people are getting their news from,
it's kind of like fed.
I do really good with sales, on books in the Black community. I promise. So I have an online bookstore.
Okay.
I do really good, and I get. Part of it, I get to see the demographics of the person that's buying the book.
Oh, nice.
Black people.
Can we get more into? I want to talk about Rose Cafe. I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about.
That's why I was asking, who writes there? Who are the authors? And you said something about an author series. What kind of things can we do there?
It's so much, you guys, and Lord help.
And where is it?
Yeah, Lord, we opening up. Where is it? What's coming up? Let's get into it.
Okay, so we finally have a spot. It's on 107th King Drive. The address is 10701 South King Drive.
I love that.
The old cleaners.
Yeah, my son went to Poe.
Yeah.
So it's right down the street from there.
I'm already talking to the principal of Poe, trying to
He's amazing.
Trying to get after school programs and things in the program where it's walking distance. So I'm on the corner of 107th King Drive, so I'm accessible to Gwendolyn Brooks.
I was just going to say he's going there next.
Poe and County Cullen.
Yes.
How amazing would it be for girls and boys to come from high school, walk past. But see what we're doing right now, this high level conversation, is the exact same thing that I want to show in Rose Cafe. We're doing this because I guess this is what we do. This is the live thing. But how amazing would it be if Danielle, you walk up in there on a Saturday, and I'm in there because this is my job now, and it's a book in front of us. So I brought some books. Here's the one book. The most powerful person in the room is you. Mm-hmm. Right. So how amazing would it be? You're asking for a refresher. And this book right here is accessible because it's right here by you. Pick it up. And it starts this conversation that could take us numerous of places. Mm-hmm. Now that's step one, but step two is, how about that girl walking from Gwendolyn Brooks get to see that? Mm-hmm. So the design of Rose Cafe, the windows, I'm not locking nothing up. I'm not putting shutters on anything.
Come on now, because we from Roseland, we know better.
We're going to act like we got some sense. We're going to love this place because this place does something for the community.
Yes.
That's period. I don't live around the corner. I bought my house around the corner because I need you to know.
Right.
I'm
watching. I'm here. I'm part of it.
I'm here. I want luxury things in the cafe. So when you're talking about couches and chandeliers and things like that, I want them girls from Gwendolyn Brooks to sit on couches that they're oh, I want this in my house. Oh, you gotta aspire some type of way, and I feel like there's none of that in the neighborhood. there's no quality. And so I want to really be big on the quality of life that we telling these girls they can have. You can have nice stuff, you know, so, but you can also come in and see us talking. Because if I'm there, I'm a talker. The Rose Cafe come with Aisha. So it's like, hey, you know, it comes with me. So I think that's the big thing since God has made me, whoever he made me to be, like, I want to talk to the elders. There's an elder park right across the street from the cafe.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes their cafe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it becomes, they get to talk to someone younger. You know, I get to give them something while they give me something, while all modeling the behavior that we want to see.
Exactly.
It
and
just
creating that space for the conversations. I think that's just an amazing concept.
Absolutely.
And open and, you know, accessible to the community. I think that's an amazing concept for
Easy
sure.
to get to, right on the corner. And not only, so while you're waiting on your coffee, you see a book. And you don't look at that book.
My coffee? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's in this cafe? What's in this cafe?
So Rose Cafe is
besides books.
So our motto is books, coffee, community. Mm-hmm. So we big on books. Let's pair it with coffee so that we can have a strong community. Will be refreshers in there. There'll be pound cake. There'll be few cups. There'll be delicates, like little small like breakfast food. Right. Won't be no greasy spoon. You know, we got enough of those. There'll be something vegan. There'll be, you know, something for. Because one thing
we're gonna offer healthy food choices. I am in love with this cafe already.
Because I like healthy. I want to go somewhere like I don't want to keep going to half.
I know that's right.
Nowhere. I don't even. Gas is getting really expensive now. I want to buy.
But that just goes back to the accessibility, because I think our youth would try those things if they saw it more. You know what I mean? All you see is the greasy and the unhealthy, and it's easy. It's accessible and it's cheap. So you know. Yeah,
man, this conversation could go so many different ways, because as you talk about this vision that, you know, that you're creating in the community, it just makes me think about, like you said, you know, I don't want to go to those others. We won't name them because, you know, we go there, but those other zip codes, right? In 60628, we want to be able to have access to these things as well too, and I think that just speaks to a concept that we are. A lot of people are talking about in different circles about walkable communities, right? Yeah. And having that economy there and in your own space, right? Where you have fresh, you have grocery stores and pharmacies, and that's kind of how you led into this conversation, right? In saying that, you know, when the community was destroyed, it was a lack of access to these basic kind of needs, and I think the vision that you have is so paramount in showing that not only are those pharmacies needed and the grocery stores needed and those things, but we need to we need education, and we need to create spaces that foster that healthy debate and allow us. Oh, how powerful would it be, like in a space like that, to have one of those intergenerational kind of conversations?
You felt it when you said that. You saw that, because that's how I am every day. Like, you know, oh, they could do this. The youth could do this with this. And like the kids can read to the elders. The kids can read to the elders. The elders could, you know, it's like,
man, so dope.
But we get excited about opportunities that was never afforded to us.
Yeah. That's
like,
right.
Because why haven't we had this?
Or, you know what, I'm gonna push back just a little bit and not say that we weren't afforded to us, but were taken from us. Because if you think about the old days, like even the griot in Africa, right? The oral history was passed on by a griot who would sit the young kids around to pass on the traditions. Going back to Reading Rainbow and Kunta, y'all remember at the beginning of that movie, right? Like they were passing those things on, and we were stripped of that over, you know, our assimilation into a culture that's foreign to us, but bringing back those fundamentals just makes me catch the Holy Ghost.
Because the kids are really smart, you know, in their own way, because they seek knowledge in like this internet and stuff. But like, what if they had like a foundation of who they are? Like, what if when they're reading these books, like that the affirmations that they're reading really sticks in with what we got going on in 2021. Like, what if this is the generation where like not only are they like knowledgeable from like, you know, from the internet and stuff, they are actually reading about like, you know, what if we paired that together? And those are the kids we get to pull up to McDonald's with now. Because the kids that we pulling up at McDonald's with, I don't feel like they ever read. Like, and I don't want to keep saying it, but it's like you cannot have been like taught like certain things, and this is your customer service. This can't be how you over here talking if you feel like you educated yourself through like literature and stuff. You cannot talk to people like that, because I feel like it goes hand in hand. Yeah. And like I feel like I'm tired of like, you know, running to teenagers and young folks who like seem like they didn't appreciate education. Because that's where the drama comes from. That's where the argument comes from. You know, it's not a sane conversation. It's not a give and take conversation. It's more take from them. You know, and I feel like
how to express yourself without confrontation. Knowing how to have a conversation. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that makes a huge difference. Wow, that's super. Yeah. I don't know why super is so word.
What's coming up for Rose Cafe?
You know what's coming up.
Yeah, you said it was something going on with
I
know
what's coming up. I wanted you to speak on that thing. I wanted you to let everybody else know. You know, I know.
I love you so much. We are getting ready to show up for Roseland. Not in a way just to show life in Roseland. So this is a different type of march. It's, you know, we can march about, you know, Black oppression and police brutality and things like that. But let's this time march with a celebration. Okay. I feel like a lot of people in my neighborhood is doing big things. Not only me, like I got a lot of people opening up boutiques, venturing off to their own businesses. I got a lot of people going to therapy. I got a lot of people talking about therapy. I got a lot of police friends that's becoming police. I got a lot of people that's buying homes in the community. And Roseland right now, they're making it a medical district. Yeah. So I sit on the Southwest Invest chair, so I kind of like, so I can be nosy. And
so that you can be informed and you can advocate for the people from Roseland.
Yeah.
We need more people to do exactly those kind of things.
I sit right there. And one thing they are doing is trying to turn Roseland into a medical district per Roseland Hospital, right? So that's that. But when you think about our community turning into a medical district, you can also think about gentrification. Absolutely. And I don't know what side of gentrification people is on. I wouldn't have mind people coming, but when you come, you gotta keep the same.
You gotta come correct.
You have to exactly right. You can't come and just displace people.
We're not here. Don't come thinking we're not here, because
exactly.
I'm not the only teacher that live in 60628.
Not at all.
I know a lot of police officers that live in 60628. I know a lot of doctors that live over here.
I do too, and I know a lot of judges and lawyers that live in 2A.
We got Miss Illinois, Black Illinois from Roseland.
Come on,
to the march. But right from Roseland, so this march that we're having on Juneteenth, which is our Freedom Day for Black people, is just to show, we were free, and we could take it a lot of ways. But this day, let's show them what we got. We got stuff. We're not destitute. We're powerful. We're present. We're young. We're educated, and we're excited.
Yeah.
And
how can those that are not, maybe they can't make it out, but they want to donate, they want to send support, or maybe want to volunteer? How can people find you to help out with the event?
So we are on all social media platforms right now. So we are Rose Cafe Shy and Rose Cafe LLC. And then we have a website. So we have a donation link up there for those that want to donate. Donate is really good, but even just like sharing the mission, like, anything, just say buying books for me,
Yes, I was gonna say buy books.
We do book clubs, we do pop-up shops. One thing I'm doing right now is raising money to not open a brick and mortar, but that couch I'm talking about, those things are very expensive. The counter costs $16,000, these type of money. So it's
gonna be flying there though.
but they well deserved.
Yes.
Like we should have that. They invest that type of stuff anywhere else. Invest that. Look, give me that for over here too.
And it's going to come because of what you're trying to do and the shift that you're trying to make. Those type of people and resources are going to gravitate.
Absolutely.
I'm speaking in the atmosphere that a lot of those things you're not even going to have to pay for because people are going to be willing to pay for it, donate it, give it to you. We just got to put it out there. We are speaking the volunteers, the donating, the finances, because what you're doing is dope and our community needs it, our youth needs it.
Absolutely.
And because of that, you are going to attract the things that you need to bring those things forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're doing amazing stuff in the community, right? Not even just in your own business endeavor, but advocating on behalf of other people. So the fact that Roseland is about to be a medical district, you know, that's something that is so, as you mentioned, can be taken in so many different ways, right? And so I'm glad that people like you are at the table saying, look, we are here, we are not going anywhere, and hopefully, you know, we on What's in It for the Black People Media right now, because that's the question that we ask everybody. Like, excuse me, it doesn't mean that everybody can't be involved, but make sure that you're intentional. What's in it for the Black people? Because we're often left out, often at the bottom. We don't get the contracts. We don't get the, you know, any of and as you probably learned being in those settings, you know, medicine is $1 billion industry, multi-billion dollar industry, right? And so for us not to be involved in a very holistic and realistic way where we are, you know, we're the smallest numbers of providers. We don't own our own hospitals. We don't have our own, for the most part, you have a few small mom and pop type of clinics that may still be open, but for the most part, most work for some larger corporations. And, you know, and so to recognize that that's what's coming into the community and that you're standing there and you're fighting and you're saying, not only are we here on this front, but we want education in our community. And, you know, and I'm sure that space opens up for us to be able to have people, like you said, you know, a lot of different people, right? So having the police come in and we gonna talk public safety in our community. Exactly. We having bankers and finance folks come in and say, now we're going to teach you how to start saving money and how to start making money from a young age, because just like you're an entrepreneur, Danny is totally an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Like, we have to give what we were able to achieve, whether or not it was, you know, I agree with you. It's because we tough. Like, Roseland does make you tough, man, right? In a sense, in a way that if you use it positively can really change a lot of other people's lives. Because I know Danny for sure, and just from everything that you've been saying on here, I know you feel the same passion that what we have, we're grateful for, but we always looking for how do I pay it forward to somebody else, you know? And I know, like Danny said, that's how your blessings gonna come. So the fact that you are out here doing these things and out here, you know, putting what you do have out here to the kids and making sure that they have these spaces, like, real talk, that's going to come to you like 100-fold for sure.
What time is the march?
Yes.
What time and what's the meetup location?
So we are meeting up in front of the cafe on 107th and King Drive.
Okay.
We have some guest speakers. We have some, we got some people coming that was like super excited to like offer words of encouragement, because like I said, we want to celebrate life. So it's like we'll have a little prep rally from 10 to 11, like to get us excited. We have like a young spoken word young guy who went to Julie and Danny.
Oh, come on, Jaguars. Okay. All right, Jaguars.
I'm so excited. And he's like, his name is like Majesty or something. Sorry. And he's like, listen, Howard, he just graduated from Howard. Like, and so he's like, his mom heard about Rose Cafe. So she was like, yeah, you need to do this. We got
nice.
2 authors speaking. We got another mutual friend, Chanel, Mommy Making Moves, speaking, trying to motivate
mommies out there. Mommy Making Moves. We gotta have her on too. Yeah.
Yes, because she like gives me life on the platform of Facebook, and I feel like, you know, we are in each other's lives to push each other. Like, I can see that lady on stages in front of millions of people.
Amen.
Right? Like, you know, just like supporting them and making them uncomfortable doing things that is how they get to the next level. Growth does not come from doing the same thing you always done. You got to do something different. And I just want to see her speak in front of all these people so that she can start speaking into more people, because that's dope. And then we got a pastor coming. He going to pray with us. He's an evangelist 28. So, you know, like we get to show like young people like that's really doing it so that it can like motivate us. We can live long without stress. And I think like once we make the world a better place, we live longer.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm excited.
So there are a lot of things I know that's going on coming up. Please feel free to give us all that information so that we can post it and rally troops to come to the pep rally. I like pep rallies, so that'll be I think that's awesome.
I have Kentrice down in the comments. She's from Michigan. She wants to drive up to bring her kids. So
oh,
make sure
nice.
that we get that information so that we can share, let everybody know what's going down. And Isha, we just want to thank you so much for your time and all of the gems that you dropped, your knowledge, and continue to do the great works that you're doing in the community. In any ways that Inhale Exhale can support, we are definitely looking to back that up.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I definitely want to make sure we reiterate those 2 points, right? Mm-hmm. Put those books in the bathroom, put them in the back seat of the car. And then you had another book. Yes, keep it present, right? And make it relevant, right? To something that they would want to see themselves in. So I agree with Danny. Thank you so much for your time. Mm-hmm. I was trying to think, like, she said something that was just so powerful. It was like about growth, you know? And so I was just like thinking, like, yeah, we got to inhale some literacy and exhale some growth, right? We got to do some amazing things in our communities, and it starts with us. So thank you for all the work you're doing. I'm going to definitely try to pop in once I see the time. It's so much going on Juneteenth, but look,
way to go, though. Like, that's exciting. Like, whoever you support, whoever is supporting, whatever's going on, you see the change happening, and it's so good.
It's so exciting because I remember years ago when people didn't even know what Juneteenth was.
I know that's right. We making moves out here. Okay, come through,
I didn't know what Juneteenth was, so I've known for like 8 years. That's it.
Yeah, but the fact that you're now promoting that and doing that for other people, I love it. And I love the fact that you got a Tupac shirt on.
Oh, Tupac is her man. She didn't even get into that.
I love me some Tupac. You know, his book is called The Rose That Grew from Concrete.
That's where the name came from.
I love you, sis. I'm a Pac fan, too.
Established on his birthday.
Come on now. What is that? June 16, 1971?
Come on, Dr. Tanksley. Hello.
I love me some Pac too. Look. Okay, so thank you so much again, y'all. Thank you, everybody. Inhale, exhale, audience, for joining us.
Thank y'all so much.
Yes, love. And we want to thank you guys for joining us this Sunday evening, giving us an hour of your time. Yes. We will be back on next Sunday at 5 p.m.
Yes, at 5 p.m.
Yes, with our sign.
Yes, with our sign. We will have our sign. Time always flies when you're having fun. That was a really good conversation.
Man, that was good.
I got some stuff out of that, and I'm going to use it, too.
I'm going to have to
find ways to encourage my girls to read more.
Absolutely.
So I got some tips.
And I think we should have you, Aisha, maybe one time. I'm sorry, sweetie. I had you muted.
Let me see if I could get them some books that can.
Absolutely. I want to connect you with my oldest anyway. You know that.
Yeah, we've been saying that forever. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, let's make that happen. And actually, on a later day, maybe you can come back and talk about some of the things that are happening in Roseland with the medical district. I think that'd be a really interesting conversation to have as well.
Hopefully, I have your book soon too.
Come on now, challenge. I like challenges.
I have a young author I want to introduce you to. We could talk offline about the young man from last
Yes.
week. He has a book and he has it in different, I think it'll be pretty dope to have that book.
I love local artists because here's the thing. I done talked to a lot of big artists, but trust me, it's artists in Roseland as well.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Yes, it is. Oh, I just love this. Roseland Girls Unite. Okay. All right. You guys we are signing off.
Way over time.
Look, way over time. DJ got the music playing. He like, come on. So we are going to sign off for real now. And peace.
Love you guys. Have a good week.
looks like fall.